Information shared on the following program is for general information purposes only. It does not constitute legal, tax, investment, or other advice, nor is it intended to recommend any particular investments, products, or financial instruments. Always seek advice from your financial advisor, attorney, or accountant with regard to investment, legal, or tax questions.
Well, this doesn't look like it's going to end well. Yep, it's not a matter of if, but when.
Welcome to the only show in the country dedicated to helping savers worry less about money, the WorryFree Retirement, with your host, nationally recognized retirement specialist and six-time author and fiduciary, Tony Walker.
When it comes to life, money, and the pursuit of happiness, one thing's for sure. Assuming you hang around this old world long enough, stuff we sometimes would rather not deal with will happen, and major decisions about when those things occur will come our way. In other words, it's not a matter of if major decisions and struggles will come into our lives, but when. In the field of retirement planning, this issue of it's not a matter of if decisions about your money will have to be made, but when to make them is most true indeed. The problem for savers, you can't run from these major decisions, but at some point must face the music and make a choice, whether you or the financial advisor you trust with your money knows what's in your best interest or not. And with all the various resources and options for reaching out to various opinions on when you should make various moves with your money, is it any wonder that most savers I meet with are dreadfully confused about when to do certain things and who to believe that is truly working in their best interest? Which is why today, and for possibly the next 2 weeks, we're going to cover in great detail the most frequent whens savers need to make regarding their money and their retirement. That's right, folks, because it's not a matter of if you'll need to make major decisions in the future, but when. So let's get started. Well, welcome, folks, to the WorryFree Retirement, and yes, I am that little man in the sweater vest, retirement planning specialist and fiduciary, Tony Walker. And before we educate savers on how to deal with these major decisions in life when and before they happen, let me introduce two folks here in the WorryFree production studios that know when to make things happen for this show each week. America's favorite financial sidekick, Mr. Aaron Orander, and Louisville, Kentucky's most laid-back graphics artist, Mr. Derek Hudson. Okay, let's imagine for a moment that you are that person who is thinking of retiring in the next few years, maybe retiring in the next couple of days, or for that matter, already retired and been retired for years. You've worked hard all of your life, saved hard all of your life, and now you are faced with some of the biggest decisions you'll ever make when it comes to using and enjoying this money you've worked so hard to save. And it's not just the money in your 401k savings plan we are talking about. It's also about how to maximize your Social Security, which investments to consider in retirement, how much risk you should be taking with your money, and of course, last but not least, how to spend this money in retirement without the fear of running out of it. The list of the wins are endless, and in keeping with our subject today, I'm going to go over today all of the most popular wins that I hear from our prospective clients and show you how to be worry-free in the meantime. You're watching the WorryFree Retirement. I am Tony Walker. We'll be right back. With the uncertainty of the stock market, our nation's debt spiraling out of control, and inflation running rampant, now may be the best time to consider moving your 401k to safer territory. My name is Tony Walker, and for over 38 years, I've made it my life's mission to help savers worry less about money, and I want to help you too. To speak with me at no cost or obligation, why don't you log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com or simply call the toll-free number on your screen.
Now remember folks, when you roll over your 401k with us, you get a 15% bonus. How's that sound?
That sounds too good to be true.
Come on, don't you trust me?
What are your fees?
That is a great question, and we'll get to that after we roll over the 401k?
I think we need to get a second opinion.
Don't leave your retirement to chance. Get a second opinion from TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Our Tony in the Trenches comes to us from Rick in Louisville, who asked the following. Tony, I am in the market for an annuity, and I recently met with someone who handed me a one-pager of different annuities they were suggesting from several different insurance companies. Are insurance companies rated, and how do I know these insurance companies won't go broke in the future? Well, as fiduciaries, we do not sell any annuities from insurance companies that do not possess at least an A- or higher rating, which means A- excellent by AM Best, the company that rates insurance companies' financial strengths. I know the list of companies Rick shared with me, and one of those companies was rated B+ by AM Best, a company that I would not suggest investing money with when you can put your money with a higher rated company. And while any insurance company, no matter their financial rating, can have financial issues, if given a choice between one rated A- excellent and one rated B+ for good, I think we can all agree I would rather have an A- rated company. So in summary, if you're getting ready to buy an annuity, my suggestion is make sure the quality of the company is at least A- excellent by Best moving forward. Hope that helps. Okay, so if you're just now joining us, our theme is the many wins in retirement planning, and let's go through those right now, the many things that you're going to have to make a decision on. The first win is when to take Social Security. Number 2, when to roll over your 401k plan. Number 3, when to deal with the tax tumor. The fourth win is when to start taking less risk in retirement. Oh, this is a good one. When to start spending your money. We'll get to this in another show. Number 6, when to seek a retirement planning specialist. And number 7, when to purchase an annuity. And finally, number 8, we'll cover this in a later show, when to admit you're not going to live forever. Well, let's first define what Social Security really is. It really is a form of mailbox money.
Mailbox money.
Remember, mailbox money is defined as a guaranteed stream of income you can never outlive. But with Social Security, there's a huge catch, and it's called knowing when you're going to die, or something we call your life expectancy. All right? The second thing you've got to think about with Social Security is it's just not a matter of trying to figure out when you're going to die, but also it's the taxable income and the effects of Social Security can have on other income. We know we're in a tax bracket situation where the more money we pile on, yes, including Social Security, our taxes can be going into other tax brackets. There's also the issue of how Social Security is taxed. Now let me go through this. This is really interesting. It has its own tax bracket. So what we're going to imagine, we've got a single person or we've got a married filing jointly, okay? Now it goes through an earnings test. They take a percentage of your Social Security. It's called the provisional income. It's usually half of your Social Security. Let's look at the next line, Derek. And what this means is, let's say you had no other income but Social Security, and total Social Security was $50,000 for both you and your spouse. You take one half of that. That's $25,000 for single, $32,000 for joint. That means there would be no taxes on that Social Security. But what if we had other income come in? Well, if that other income comes in and it gets in the $25,000 to $34,000 range, that would be for a single filer, or $32,000 to $44,000 for a married filer, 50% of the Social Security income has to go on the tax return for tax calculation, and it gets a little worse. If it goes over $34,000 for single and over $44,000 for married, it's 85% has to be included in taxable income. Now leave this up for just a second. What's interesting about this, these tax brackets for Social Security, to my knowledge, haven't changed in years. So although inflation's running rampant, Social Security benefits are going up, people are, quote, making maybe more money, this tax bracket has not gone up, meaning you're going to creep into these Social Security brackets much more quickly. Not good. All right, let's keep going. Another issue of when to take Social Security deals with what we call survivor benefits. You know, this is a huge issue. Let's say one of the spouses didn't make a lot of money, so their Social Security is going to be much lower. Maybe another spouse has done very well financially. There may be a reason for the spouse that's done well financially to put off their Social Security to a later date so they'll make more money, because if they were to pass away, remember the lower term, the lower Social Security goes away, and then the surviving spouse would get the higher benefit. Does that mean you should delay Social Security? I'm not really saying that, but when we're meeting with clients, depending on their age, their life expectancy, their taxability, it has a huge bearing on when we're going to take Social Security. And then finally, the last point on Social Security and when to take it is, quite frankly, is how much do you trust the government, especially when you see articles like this, actually from the Social Security Trust Fund. Look at this. It says that this is as of, what is this, June of 2022. It could change. But the fund that supports Social Security is expected to be depleted in 2034. So sometimes that has a bearing on people just saying, hey, just give me that stuff as soon as I can get it, partner. I don't even know if it's going to be around. So it's not only when to take Social Security, but when you're getting into retirement planning, particularly if you're not at what's called full retirement age and you decide to work plus join and take your Social Security benefits, there's some huge considerations to think about. And to help us along with some of these important considerations, in our Bowling Green office is our Social Security specialist, our own Lisa Allerkamp. Well, good morning, Lisa.
Good morning.
Well, first off, Lisa, explain what full retirement age means in terms of Social Security.
For Social Security, full retirement age is the age at which you can receive your full retirement age benefit, not reduced. And this age varies depending on your individual date of birth. So it can vary between 65 years of age and 67 years of age.
Okay, and we're seeing more and more people. I had a lady in yesterday, she's 62, thinking about drawing Social Security, but may want to go work somewhere either part-time or maybe full-time. But are there some limitations on how much she can earn in terms of wages if she draws Social Security at that age prior to full retirement, but then goes back to work?
Sure, there are some limitations. Anytime you are before your full retirement age, Social Security has an annual earnings test, and that's a limit on how much you can earn before your full retirement age if you're receiving your benefit. For 2023, that limit is $21,240. So if you're prior to full retirement age and you're receiving your benefit, you can only earn up to $21,240 a year without that affecting your benefit.
Okay, well, let's say somebody maybe just works a little bit of part-time, $10,000 to $12,000, but also is taking out income, let's say from an IRA of $20,000 a year, maybe has some rental income of $20,000 a year. And again, we're assuming this person's 62 drawing Social Security. Will those other income sources affect this earnings test?
Those other income sources you mentioned will not affect the annual earnings test. What's included in the annual earnings test are your wages, what you see on your W-2, or any self-employment wages.
Okay, Lisa, as always, valuable resource. Thank you so much for what you do for our clients, the income planning department, and of course your knowledge in Social Security. So you make it a good day.
Sure, you too, Tony.
Our employee spotlight today shines brightly on our own Leanne Tinsley, tax certified specialist at Tony Walker Financial. Leanne, first of all, thank you for making the drive to Louisville from Bowling Green today.
Sure, anytime.
I know you're always excited about these spotlights.
I love this stuff.
Well, there's two reasons. You've had a name change since we first did our first spotlight, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And secondly, you've been with Tony Walker Financial 3 years.
That's right,
okay.
3 years.
A lot has transpired. So first of all, for our audience, share a little bit about your background prior to joining Tony Walker Financial and what you've learned and the things you're doing now with us.
Well, I started out doing bookkeeping and payroll for small companies. As a matter of fact, that's how I got initially with you. I was taking care of those duties for you, and then you drug me kicking and screaming into full-time work for you, and also had a lot of background in tax prep work as well. So that background definitely was advantageous when I moved over to your practice full-time.
Well, you mentioned the word tax prep. How would you define tax preparation, which that's fine, so you're preparing taxes, if you would define that, versus tax planning, which is what we do at Tony Walker Financial?
Well, tax preparation usually takes place after the tax year's closed, obviously. So there's not a lot of planning that's going to be going on there. That's historical. What we do now is we're looking into the future and trying to find ways that we can save you on the tax side for your future tax years.
And what would you say are some of the biggest misconceptions out there in terms of what we do? I mean, you even have talked to people before, and I think they say, well, don't y'all just do annuities, or don't y'all just do investments over there? How would you describe to people what we do in terms of the planning aspect of what we do?
I don't think people really understand the scope of the planning department here at Tony Walker. While yes, we are involved in annuities and we do have the brokerage platform, there's a lot more involved there, from tax planning to income planning and really planning for your entire retirement.
And we just sure appreciate having you on board, and it's been a wonderful 3 years. Hope to have many more with you. Have you recently retired, been laid off, or offered a pension buyout? Has the company you work for moved, been acquired, or closed its doors forever? And finally, do you have a 401k with a previous employer you'd like to move to safer territory? Then take advantage of this opportunity to move your 401k or lump sum pension to Tony Walker Financial. Let's meet in person to discuss your retirement options. Log on now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com to schedule your free, no obligation appointment. Let us help you today. Welcome back to the Worry-Free Retirement, and our Live Well, Die Broke moment is something we've been working on all year. I've always wanted to do this. It's the first ever Tony Walker Financial Client Cookbook. And yes, even the well-known, well-acclaimed Tony's Devilish Deviled Eggs are included in here. But it's not just my favorite recipe, but many of our clients and even staff who contributed to this. In fact, we have over 100 recipes in this cookbook. And best of all, folks, it's absolutely free. And if you'd like to download your free copy, just go to TonyWalkerFinancial.com//cookbook. Again, absolutely free. And again, to our clients at Tony Walker Financial, thank you for contributing to the cookbook. All right, we got to move along here. We're focusing on the many wins in retirement planning, decisions that you will have to make at some point. Last segment, we covered when to take Social Security. Now we go to number 2, when to roll over your 401k plan. So we're going to set the stage here a minute. Many of you are sitting here with these 401k plans with these huge institutions, these 1-800 numbers, these people on the other end of a phone that you don't even know from Adam. And in many cases, those 401ks could be moved over to a personalized firm like Tony Walker Financial, where you can meet with the owner in person, etc., etc. And it's like, why are you not moving them? Well, we have to believe that you didn't know you could even move the 401k. So let's see the 5 different options you have for rolling over a 401k. Well, obviously, if you change jobs, we see this a lot. Somebody's in their 40s or 50s and they've changed jobs, and they talk to us and we find out they've got, now keep in mind, our minimum account size is $50,000 that we can work with, but they got $50,000, $60,000 over at their old employer. Yep, you can move those over. The second thing is a layoff or company closing. Unfortunately, we're seeing more and more of this. People are starting to get laid off, or maybe the company they work for has moved or been acquired or closed its doors forever. Guess what? You can roll that 401k over to someone like Tony Walker Financial. And again, in all these examples, there's absolutely no upfront cost to do so. And if you do it properly, absolutely no taxes to roll that thing over. Number 3, this is a little known secret. Maybe you're nervous about the market. As we record this show in December of 2022, you're worried about the stock market crashing. You don't have any safe options. You've heard about these annuities. You want a local retirement specialist, and you're over the age of 59 and a half and still working. Guess what? 90% of the people out there can roll that 401k over to someone like us. Again, they didn't know they could do that. There's no taxes, no charges up front to do that. And if they like, they can continue to contribute to the 401k and get the match. This is a wonderful idea, and if that fits you, you need to contact us. Well, of course, if you're retired. If you are retired, and I know, folks, it's a big decision. I've had people say, well, no, I'll just leave it at the 401k. They've done a pretty good job. What the heck? Well, as we're learning, folks, there's so much involved in the retirement planning process. All of these decisions you're going to have to make. Expertise that's going to be required on Social Security and taxes. We haven't even gotten into the stuff we're going to cover in the next 2 weeks. You're not going to want to leave that 401k at your former employer when you retire. It just makes no sense because of the changes that you're going to have to deal with in the future. You're going to want to have an independent fiduciary that you can meet with to deal with those changes. And finally, you've reached the age of 72. Now let's talk about this a minute. Many people, for whatever reason, think it's good to postpone or not take any money out of their 401k until 72. We see this a lot. They'll just leave it at their employer. They wait to 72. That's the age you reach what's called your required minimum distribution. And you say, okay, maybe I'll move it over now. Folks, you want to get that 401k moved over prior to 72. Assuming you've already got it moved over, maybe it's with a broker or somebody that's not managing it, and you want to manage your taxation of that 401k, you may even want to take out more than the required minimum distributions. This is why you want to consider moving that 401k over to someone like Tony Walker Financial. So you might be saying, Tony, yeah, I've got a 401k I could move over. I've got more than $50,000 in it. I want to talk to you. Is there any cost or obligation? That's the best part of all. There isn't. So all you have to do to meet with me in person is log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com, click on that Let's Get Started button, or if you'd like to talk to me by phone at no cost or obligation, just call the number on your screen. Well, what does the Bible have to say about this notion of if not, but when? Oh, some really good stuff. We're going to find out about this character named Job. And boy, did he have a tough time of it, and what the Bible has to say in terms of how to get through the struggles of this world. Good stuff coming your way. Let me grab a cup of coffee. I'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Mandy Houchins, and one of my main responsibilities here at Tony Walker Financial is annuity service. One of the most important things that I do for our clients is to help them to make sure that their beneficiaries are up to date. Life events happen, it could be death, marriage, divorce. Those kinds of things happen and cause you to maybe double check or make changes to beneficiaries. We have currently already in 2022 processed 36 death claims for clients. Those are obviously times that we help clients to update beneficiaries, make sure that they're up to date. Those are so important because you want to make sure that the people that you want to receive your money at your death actually do receive it. If you need to make changes or just verify who your beneficiaries are on any of your accounts, feel free to give us a call. You can ask for me again, Mandy Houchins here at Tony Walker Financial. Thank you.
Who can you trust? It's one of the most important decisions you'll have to make. Question is, are you ready? Well, we're here to help at Tony Walker Financial. We care more about you than we do your money, and we have over 2,000 happy clients and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau to prove it. Rolling over a 401k, confused about Social Security, maybe you're afraid of running out of money. Learn how to use and enjoy and protect your hard-earned money. Log on now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and let's get started. When it comes to dealing with the major decisions surrounding your money in retirement, as duly noted, it's not if you will need to deal with important issues such as when to take Social Security, but when. It's not if you should roll over your 401k to a fiduciary such as Tony Walker Financial, but when. And as tough as decisions as these might be, they pale in comparison to the real-life struggles and challenges that are not a matter of if they will happen to us, but when. Take a character in the Bible by the name of Job. This man knew a thing or two about struggles. A God-fearing man, Job was targeted by the devil and granted permission by God for the devil to take everything away from Job. And I mean everything. The result of Satan's attacks on Job? Anguish like none of us has ever experienced. Now, why would God allow such trouble to fall upon Job? Well, the same reason he allows trials and tribulations to beset us all, found in Job 5:7, because we were born for trouble. Yet, as we can see from the response of Job, trials and tribulations are a good thing because they do three things that are very important to maintaining and growing our faith in God. First, troubles test our patience. In fact, in Ecclesiastes 7:8, it says, "The end of a matter is better than its beginning," but look at this point, patience of spirit is better than haughtiness of spirit. Second, when our patience is being tested, our confidence in God is as well. You see, you can't be patient through the trials if you don't have confidence in a bigger and better God to see you through them. Jesus says in John 16:33 to be confident while going through tribulations because he has already overcome them. You see, friend, you can put confidence in yourself or confidence in others, but some trials are just too big to handle without the assurance that only a God that has overcome them can provide. And finally, no matter what we are going through, yes, even if we have lost it all, we are commanded to always be of good cheer. You see, when we take courage in the Lord, that courage will produce in us good cheer. In other words, depending on what translation of the Bible you prefer, courage and being of good cheer go hand in hand, which is really all that was going on with Job. All this time, Satan sifted him like wheat, and his friends considered Job a sinner and a flop. But Job never gave in. He kept the faith and courage that God was in control. So how does this all end up for Job? Where does the good cheer come from, and how does it come into play? Well, we have to go all the way to Job 42:10, where it says this: After Job prayed for his friends, the Lord restored his prosperity and doubled his former possessions. Did you catch that? The same friends who called him a loser were the same friends Job prayed for. The result of this enduring hardship and still praying for others who condemned him, well, from the looks of how God blessed Job for his faithfulness, turns out the cheerful giver in this scene is not Job, but God. A God, the Bible tells us, who delights in our faith, and in Job's case, not only gives back everything to us, but if he so chooses, gives us back where our cup will runneth over. So friend, the next time you feel fearful about the things of the world, even if you are going through struggles that seem too difficult to bear, the next time you feel down and out, do this. Take courage in the promises of the Lord and keep the faith, because in the end, this faithful God will restore you to glory. And my friend, that's some good news you can take to the bank. Well, how about you? You might be sitting there right now saying, Tony, I need some real good news and I need some cheering up because I'm tired of losing money in the stock market, or I'm tired of not having a game plan I can follow in retirement. Well, friend, you've come to the right place because my name is Tony Walker. I'm the owner of Tony Walker Financial, and for more than 38 years, our job has been to help savers worry less about money. So to learn more about our operation or have what we call our free 10-minute fiduciary phone call, all you got to do right now is log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. That's TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Or if you like, simply call the number on your screen. Well, we hope you've enjoyed today's program. We look forward to seeing you next week on the Worry-Free Retirement. But remember, between now and then, you be cheerful. Make it a good one.